presentation is really just to introduce the Your Consortium Kickstart partnership and talk you through some of the information that you may already have seen on our website and in the pack, but going into a little bit more detail about that and giving everybody the opportunity to ask any questions. So we wanted to start really by telling you what it's like to work with us. So I think the vast majority of people on this call have worked with Your Consortium before or currently are, but we wanted to just really be able to talk a little bit about how it feels to work with Your Consortium and the values that we have that we try and bring to all of our programs and everything that we do. So we have 6 values as an organization, and they really do underpin everything that we do. Decisions that we need to make when we're designing things, we're always looking back at these values and saying, are we being true to our values? So very, very quickly, the first one, collaborative. We are a partnership organization, and everything that we do is in partnership with mostly voluntary sector organisations, sometimes with strategic partnerships with other colleagues from other sectors. But the whole approach of how we do everything is about collaborating, is about working out how we can achieve more by coming together than any of us would be able to achieve on our own. The second value that we have is empowering. So we want to make sure that everybody is being empowered through working with us, through the programs. We have an empowering approach to how we work with our staff team, certainly how we work with our partners. And we know that the work that you guys do on the ground is about empowering your learners, your participants, your young people. And what we don't want to do is be building sort of dependencies. So it's about how do we all act in a way so that we're empowering others to be the best that they can be. We're very proud of our value of being fair. Fairness is really, really important to all of us. It's why when we do new things that we always try and have a kind of launch event like this so that people can come along. We want to be really open, be really inclusive. We always have sort of guidance about how to engage with us and how to apply for things so that people, everybody has the same opportunity to be able to get involved. We have, this is a relatively new one for us, but a value around mindfulness. So we are mindful in how we communicate with each other, with you, with how we design things. We try and really think about the impact of our actions. And we have a big, you guys will have seen if you've been on our social media, big focus around well-being and staff well-being and mental health in the workplace. We think that we're pioneering. We are not scared to do things differently. We're not scared to think, actually, maybe there's a different way of doing this or a new way of doing this where we might be able to make more of an impact. And the last one is that we are hopeful. So yeah, it's been a tough year for a lot of people. And actually, it's not just been this year for a lot of the communities that we work with. But we really believe that it is possible to make the world better. That is why we're all in the jobs that we're in. And we try and bring that hopefulness to all of the work that we do. Okay, so why would you want to choose us? We are not the only people who are offering a sort of intermediary role for this scheme. And I know there are a number of other organisations that are a couple of months ahead of us actually in terms of this. So we're an experienced non-profit lead around job creation programs. So we have been operating for nearly 13 years now, and we have run a number of different job creation programs. So a couple of them are up on there. The Future Jobs Fund, we created 180 jobs through that fund in York and North Yorkshire back in 2009, 2010. And through our Talent Match programme, of which we've got a couple of our Talent Match providers on this call, we also created jobs for young people as part of that programme. So we have a good track record actually of doing this kind of work. Doing this kind of work particularly on Future Jobs was focused around voluntary sector organisations and creating jobs within the voluntary sector, which is our real focus for this. And the last one is that we are passionate about the voluntary sector. So we really believe in you. We believe in what we're collectively doing, and we think that that really comes through in the way that we work. We want to have a triple legacy for this programme. So the first part of this is about the impact for the young people who will have the opportunity to go for these jobs. And we want it to be a real step change for them. You know, this isn't just about finding something for somebody to do for 6 months or being kind of like a little bit of a plug. I believe that as a sector, we can create things that are really impactful, really empowering, that are going to be a really positive experience for young people. We want to promote the voluntary sector as a career option. So actually, as Your Consortium, we have quite a young staff team. We've got quite a lot of young people who have come to us maybe for their first job and have built their careers within our organisation. But as a sector, we are maybe not as good as we could be at creating pathways in for young people. And I think that particularly when you look at aspirations of young people now, people are wanting to really make a difference. They want to do work that matters. They don't want to feel like they're just on a kind of corporate treadmill and trying to climb up the ladder. And so this is a real opportunity for us as a sector to be able to give young people that opportunity and show them that they can build their career with us. And finally, we want to increase the capacity of our sector at a time when we are so needed and so stretched. So actually being able to bring in a young person, increase that capacity, and we will do more and benefit more people within our communities by having that capacity. So what we're looking for, values-based organisations, it's why we started with our values, so that you can have a look at those and decide, do they match yours, both on a personal and organisational level. We're looking for partners primarily in North and West Yorkshire and the East Riding of Yorkshire. That's where our current delivery partnership is. That's the area that we currently cover. If you're on the call and you are covering a slightly different area, that's definitely something we could have a conversation about. But we're anticipating that most of the partnership will be in that patch. Obviously, when everything's being done on video conference, it doesn't matter so much. There's not so much travel time. We want organisations that have a community focus. So that might be through having a not-for-profit status, but it could also be from being other types of organisations, maybe from the private sector, SMEs, or from statutory sector, but that have that real focus on the community. We want people who are passionate about supporting young people. This is a really great opportunity for us to be able to create an environment for young people, to be able to thrive and to build up that experience. And we want them to be working with people who really want to be working with them, not people who are sort of gonna sort of accept it, but that's not what they're passionate about. So I loved that came through in some of the introductions about that passion. And we're looking for organisations with a commitment to learning and growing. We think this is a great opportunity for us collectively as a sector to be looking at how do we improve our employment practices? How do we become more inclusive as employers? How do we embrace digital and new ideas in different ways? So how this will work, it's a government initiative and it's job placements for, primarily it will be 18 to 24-year-olds, although for young people who are NEET, 16 and 17-year-olds, I think there will also be provision for that. We'll be having a look as more of the details come through exactly how that's going to work. We're looking for opportunities to create that experience, gain experience, skills and confidence for young people. The funding will be provided for 25 hours a week for 6 months, and it will be depending on the age, either at the national minimum wage or living wage. Organisations can choose to top that up. So for instance, we're a living wage employer and we wouldn't pay anybody less than living wage because that's part of our commitment. So if we create a Kickstart opportunity, we will top that up. You can top up the hours and things as well, but the funding will come in for the 25 hours and for the 6 months. And it supports partnerships of at least 30 placements. So that's what we're going to be looking at over the next 2 weeks, is building a partnership with 30 placements in to be able to bid. I think that we've already heard from people creating almost that number. So I'm not anticipating that that's going to be a challenge for us. And we'll act as the gateway. So you can offer one placement if that feels that that's right for your organization or more. You can also maybe have a couple of placements with them starting on a bit of a staggered start as well. Any eligible young people that you know and you're already working with who have got links in, who are on universal credit and who are eligible, will be able to go to their job coach and say, this opportunity is available. So it is something that there will be referrals made directly by the job centre, but you can support young people that you know to be able to say, please, can I have a referral for this placement or this project? As an employer, you will be able to advertise your vacancies primarily in the job centres, because the referrals do need to come from the job coaches. But actually, as I say, if you wanted to promote them elsewhere and be able to reach eligible young people directly, those young people would then be able to go and request a referral. You'll have the opportunity to interview young people. You can actually choose and speak to the job centre about how many young people you would like to be referred. So I think that they are anticipating it will be maybe 5 to 10 young people, depending on how many people you would want to interview. And we will help with everything along the way. So supporting with the job centres, helping with the recruitment process, induction training, and we've just done a fully remote sort of recruitment, induction and training program with a couple of new starters that we have, and we've been sort of honing that and making sure that we're going to be able to support you guys as well. You'll receive a £1,200 grant per placement, which is on top of the wage funding that you get, and you can spend this on quite broad number of things. You can spend this on equipment. So if young people are going to be working from home, or even if they're going to be working in the office for part of it, to make sure that they have the equipment that they need. You can also fund training, so that could be specific training programs or courses, but also support. So if actually the best thing that you think you could offer for a young person would be some dedicated time with a mentor or additional time with their line manager to be able to do some extra support, then you can use that funding to be able to provide that support. DWP will check that the young person is enrolled through the HMRC system, and the grant comes actually quite near the beginning of the placement. I think that they're indicating sort of within the first week. You'll then get the minimum wage or living wage plus the employee on costs, so pension up to the auto enrolment level, national insurance, pay as you earn, and it will be paid in monthly arrears after the first month. So the first payment is triggered, I think, after 6 weeks, and then after that it's 1 month. So there's an element of cash flowing that we'll all need to do, but it's not as much as I think it was looking at like at the beginning. So we're looking for placements that are quality learning opportunities where people are going to be really gaining skills. We're looking for that community benefit and the added value that your organisation will bring, and wraparound offer of building skills, so all sorts of different transferable skills and things for the young people. We'll be delivering some workshops sort of throughout this programme as well on things that are about strengthening you guys as organisations. We don't want to be parachuting in and delivering things to the young people on placements when we're working with an amazing partnership of organisations who are very well placed to be able to do that. But what we want to do is anything that we can to help you to strengthen yourself as an organisation so that you're robust, so that you're able to continue offering that support directly to the young person. So how it will work for the young people: they will get a job description, contract of employment, they'll have all the employment rights that they would have as an employee of your organisation. They'll receive that quality recruitment and induction process and training, and they'll get an opportunity to get used to working, whether it's in an office environment or through the remote working, and learn how to be able to do that, gaining that experience. They will become part of your organisation, they'll become part of your team, so they'll have that sort of line management, support, mentoring, but also that sense of feeling part of something and part of something that's making a difference as well. And they'll gain tech skills and basic training that's accompanied with the role. We're going to be looking at putting together a peer support platform so that in addition to having that support from other people within your organisation, from their colleagues. They're actually also going to get to engage with other young people who are in a similar situation to them. They will receive quality personalised employability support, and we want to look at a real kind of partnership model around this. So there will definitely be things that each of you will want to do and be able to offer, but we're also looking at where you might have maybe a couple of people on placement and you might want to run a workshop. Actually, would you be willing to open that workshop up and let other young people come in on it, and also promoting things that are being run by other partners to people within your own organisation? They'll get further training and development throughout the placement, and they looking at that sort of shared delivery model. And what we're looking for is that there is real, genuine support at the end of the placement, either for young people to progress into an opportunity within your organisation, or for you to really be able to support them to progress elsewhere. So we don't want this to be a 6-month placement and it just ends and then the young person's back on universal credit. We're going to do as much as we possibly can to make sure that there's that progression route through. So next steps, the deadline for applications for this first round. So we're wanting to get some speed going on this. Is Friday the 27th of November, and we've put on the website sort of 5 p.m. on that day. It says that application and job description. So it's a pretty short actually expression of interest form that we've put on our website, and for each role that you want to create, we've asked you to include a copy of the job description because we're going to need to submit that to government. We've got a guidance document, as we always do, along with the form, and a video that many of you might already have seen that's a little bit more of a summary of the programme, which is at our website, yourconsortium.org. And we are aiming to get these submission into DWP before Christmas, hopefully kind of beginning to middle of December. And the sort of timescales that they're advertising at the moment, I know they have been longer than this, but there's just been a big recruitment nationally to DWP to support capacity on this programme, is decisions in 4 weeks. I guess there'll be 4 working weeks. There might be a little bit of time over Christmas, but that is the sort of how we see that this is going to be going, what the next steps are, and I'm going to stop sharing my screen now.